My child, stop scrolling. This is not just another video. This is your lifeline. I brought you here on purpose because I saw what no one else did. I saw the silent breaking inside you, the smile you wore to hide the storm, the prayers you whispered, wondering if I was even listening. I was, I am, and now I'm speaking directly to you. Because time is running out, the weight you're carrying, the fear you've normalized, the pain you've buried, I am about to confront it all. But you must stay, because in the next few moments, you will hear a truth that could rewrite your entire future. Don't look away. Don't delay. What you do with this word will determine what I do next in your life. You asked for a sign. This is it. I have seen you pace the floor in silence, your heart screaming with questions no one could hear. Your mind caught between trusting me and fearing what tomorrow might steal from you. But I could not stay still. Heaven has paused because my focus is entirely on you right now. I did not come with mere casual comfort, but with divine urgency. For something is about to change, and I don't want you to miss it. You stand on the brink of a breakthrough you never anticipated. I am not speaking to the outer you, the face you show the world. I am speaking to your soul, the part of you crying out when the room falls silent and the mask slips away. My presence is not here to watch, but to act. This is no ordinary visit. It's a rescue mission. I entered your space because time is moving, and the enemy has tried to get ahead with distraction, delay, and discouragement. But I won't allow that to happen. I am slicing through the confusion. I am silencing every lie you believe about yourself. I stand between you and the next mistake you are about to make out of fear. Listen closely. I did not come merely to be acknowledged, but to be obeyed. For what I say in this hour is your survival. You prayed for answers, and I arrived with revelation. You begged for comfort, and I came with strategy. You sought peace, and I bring power. Don't wait for another sign. This is it. This is me. This is now. The shift begins the moment you stop resisting and start listening. I did not come just to pat your back. I came to reset your life from the inside out. I will not leave until every wall of hopelessness collapses and every lie burying your purpose is burned away by my truth. So look up, breathe deeply. I am not far. I am here. I am speaking, and everything is about to change. You didn't have to say a word. I heard the silence screaming inside you. Every night you turned away from the light, letting your tears fall silently into your pillow. I was right there, catching every drop as if it were precious oil. You were never invisible to me. While the world saw your smile, I witnessed your storm. You tried so hard to stay composed, to hold everything together for others, even when inside you felt like falling apart. You have been misunderstood, overlooked, and misjudged by those who never took time to look into your heart. But I did. I always have. And those moments when you thought no one noticed your pain, I did more than notice it. I carried it. Your heartbreak shook the very atmosphere of heaven. That's why I had to come here now, into the very space where you sit. Because no one else knew how deeply you've been hurting. And no one else can heal what I'm about to touch. The sorrow you've buried beneath your strength has not gone unnoticed. You believed you cried alone, but you never wept in isolation. Your tears were an offering, a soul's cry piercing through every barrier to reach my throne. And I didn't just sympathize, I acted. I moved with intention, with urgency, because what wounded you tried to redefine your worth. And I could not allow that. I came to show you your pain is not your identity, your tears not your defeat. I place my hand on every part of your soul that still flinches from what happened. I am healing the wounds left behind, even those you thought no one saw. I know about the betrayal, rejection, and disappointment that made you question your value. But hear this with unshakable certainty. You are not broken beyond repair. You are not forgotten in the shadows. You are not abandoned in your grief. What others dismissed as weakness, I see as beauty, because your tears revealed that your heart is still alive, tender, and reaching for something greater than this moment. That yearning, that hunger, that ache drew me to you tonight. I came not because you cried, but because your tears were honest. They told me that even through the hurt, you still long for me, and I respond to longing like that with the fullness of my love. This is not pity, this is restoration. I came to rewrite the story your sorrow tried to end. I breathe life into your spirit, reviving parts of you numbed by disappointment. You will feel joy again. You will smile without forcing it. You will sleep without fighting nightmares. Your tears were seeds, and now the season of harvest is here. Don't hide your face. Lift it. Look at me. I am still here, and I am not leaving. You never cried alone, and you never will again. You kept searching, hoping for a sign, a whisper that I hadn't turned away. But the silence made you doubt. The stillness made you wonder. You thought maybe I was busy with more important matters, or that your situation was too small to matter to the one who holds the universe. But hear this loud and clear. I was never distracted. I was never absent. I never looked away from you once. Every breath you took, I measured it. Every second of your struggle, I was present. When you felt misunderstood, I understood. When your prayers seemed to bounce off the ceiling, I caught every word before it left your lips. I didn't miss the moment you almost gave up. I stayed when you doubted if I cared. I remained when your faith flickered. My gaze never shifted. I watched over you not as a distant king, but as a devoted father, a shepherd who knows exactly where his beloved is, even when they feel lost. I saw you hold on to hope with trembling hands. I saw how you pushed through the fog of uncertainty, even when you couldn't see the next step. I know the strength it took to keep walking, trusting, and showing up when it felt like no one saw you at all. But I saw it. I saw it all. And I want you to understand something vital now. I was not testing your endurance. I was preparing the perfect moment to step in and show you how deeply anchored you are in me. The delay was not neglect, it was divine timing. Had I moved sooner, you might have missed the maturity, clarity, and depth this valley shaped in you. Now I'm here, not to apologize for silence, but to reveal I spoke through it the whole time. Every door that stayed closed was not me forgetting you. It was me protecting you from settling for less than what I destined. You've waited for confirmation. This is it. You've been carried in my hands every step. Not a moment passed when I wasn't fully attentive to your needs, even those you couldn't voice. Now that you've reached this sacred turning point, I'm here not just to affirm that I remember you, but to show that what you thought wasted is about to become the foundation for what's next. What's coming will require the endurance you gained in silence, the wisdom born in waiting, and the unwavering trust built when nothing made sense. I've kept my eyes on you because you are not a background character. You are central to what I am unfolding next. I watched you walk through fire. Now I'm preparing to place you in rooms you didn't know you were being prepared for. You didn't lose me. I've been with you even when you thought you were alone. You are not overlooked. You are not irrelevant. You are my chosen, my beloved, my focus. I've written your name into every detail of what's about to be revealed. As you sit wondering how much longer you can carry this weight, I've already begun to calm the invisible war within you. You haven't said it aloud, but the chaos inside has been loud. Your thoughts crashing like waves in a hurricane, emotions shifting so violently you can't find solid ground. I saw you all, trying to appear stable outwardly, while your spirit trembled under unanswered questions and relentless pressure. You smiled while shattered, functioned while fraying. But I tell you now, I did not come just to observe. I came to interrupt the unrest stealing your breath. This is no mere visit. This is a divine takeover. Every turmoil spinning in your chest is being stilled by my presence. Where fear took root, I am planting peace that doesn't need permission. Where dread poisoned your outlook, I pour a flood of clarity to cleanse the doubt. You've tried to silence the noise with distraction, routine, even spiritual effort. None worked. That's why I came myself. You didn't need advice, information, or opinion. You needed the authority of my voice addressing your torment. I am that voice. I'm not whispering. I am commanding the storm to bow. I'm not asking chaos to leave gently. I am casting it into the silence it tried to bury you in. I saw anxiety trying to build a home in your mind, panic sneaking in when you tried to rest, your heart racing in stillness, sleep stolen night after night. I say enough of internal storms making you question your sanity. Enough of battles no one saw but you carried daily. I dismantle every unrest brick by brick. Touch the root of your restlessness. Not just symptoms, the core. You no longer must pretend to be okay. You don't have to have all the answers. I didn't come expecting answers. I bring resolution to confusion. You've been tormented long enough. You cried in secret, asking if peace would return. My answer is not delayed. It is now. Right now, this breath. You may not feel it immediately, but something shifts beneath the surface. You don't need proof before trusting. My presence is your evidence. I do not linger where I have no purpose. And I am here, which means the war is ending. The storm is breaking. The king you thought you'd never meet again enters your atmosphere, not by your strength, but by mine. That storm bigger than you just met the one it cannot overpower. Wounds within you have gone untouched too long, places covered with busyness, smiles, and silence, hoping they'd vanish. But I see what others miss. I know the secret injuries, the ones too fragile to name, the walls you built because opening nearly destroyed you. I did not come tonight to watch you pretend you're fine. I came because I love you too much to let you live numbed, shut off, guarded for life. I'm not exposing your brokenness to shame you. I'm uncovering it to restore what was stolen. I see how you hide memories that still sting, locked away because revisiting feels like agony. But even deepest pain cannot escape my love. I'm unafraid of your history, undeterred by your scars, unshaken by what you deem too messy for light. I came with gentle hands and healing power, not to press wounds, but to lift infection festering in silence. You thought ignoring pain meant overcoming it, but it only buried it deeper, shaping how you see yourself, trust, and live. Now I reach, not to tear open fragility, but to breathe life into what was buried alive. There is no healing in hiding. You've cried enough behind closed doors, blamed yourself for what was never your fault, minimized your hurt to ease others. But I'm here now, and I say no more. No more apologizing for feeling too much. No more pretending the past didn't change you. I'm not here to take you backward. I'm here to redeem every place robbed of peace, innocence, and joy. And I won't leave you in the process. I stay through every release, every crack in the walls, every unexpected tear. Let them come. I catch them. Let emotions rise. I'm not afraid. This is resurrection, not just healing. What died when they left, when you failed, when you lost, is being revived by the one who never stops redeeming. I came to make you whole, to show even the ugliest pain becomes holy ground when I step in. Let me in, not just your space, but the hurt you thought untouchable. The process may be raw, but the outcome will be freedom like never before. I won't rush you, but I won't let you settle for survival. It's time to feel, hope, and live again, not with a patched soul, but a heart fully restored by the one who knew its need all along. You're safe, not because the world changed, but because I hold what was too heavy for you to hide. This is the beginning of your healing. I'm not turning away. I lead you with mercy that never lets go. You thought no one heard those midnight cries, the muffled sobs, trembling whispers, silent heart shouts. You believed those desperate moments vanished, unnoticed and unanswered. But I heard everyone. When the world slept and silence filled your room, I listened. When weight pressed so heavily you couldn't breathe, I was near. You didn't need to shout. I recognized your breaking. And now I'm here, waiting for this hour to respond, not with delay or distance, but with presence. My answer is not an echo or verse. It is me standing now, fully aware of your struggles. I came because you called, even unsure I'd come, because you dared hope amid doubt. I'm not here with vague encouragement or shallow comfort. I bring real change. You asked if I see you. Yes, I do. If I care more than you can imagine, I do. If I love you after all detours, silences, and sin, yes, 1,000 times yes. I have not forgotten your voice, even when hidden by sobs or sighs. Every plea, question, soul groan is recorded as a call for help, and help has arrived. I'm not late, I'm on time. You wondered why I didn't answer sooner, why nothing seemed to shift when you begged. But while you cried, I moved behind scenes unseen. I orchestrated details, repositioned situations, redirected traps, removed obstacles that could have destroyed you if I'd answered on your timing. You weren't ignored, you were prepared. Now the moment is here, and I answer not just with words but with action. Things will shift, doors will open, no one can close. The weariness from restless nights lifts, the burden weighing on your chest dissolves in my presence. I bring clarity to confusion, stealing your peace. I replace hesitation with confidence, not in you but in me. I never needed you to perform or prove. I needed your heart open, even broken. And it was broken, but still reached for me. That moved me. I am the God who comes when others leave, the Savior who kneels beside you in darkness, not waiting for you to stand before lifting you. No need to pretend with me. I didn't come for perfection, but for your pain. Not to scold you for crying, but to collect tears and turn them into rain for a new season, a season of restoration. A season where nights no longer torment because the Maker now sits beside you. This is the hour your cries become songs of deliverance. I heard you. I came, and I'm staying until your weeping turns to breakthrough. You wore that smile like armor, crafted so well most never noticed what hid beneath. But I did. I see beyond practiced expressions and polite words. I see trembles in your laughter, tension behind kindness, exhaustion in your silence. A fear you don't speak of, whispering worst-case scenarios in peaceful moments. It steals breath in stillness, keeps you awake when you should rest. It's not always loud, sometimes a chest tightness, a hesitation to hope, an unspoken dread that something will fall apart just when it seemed to get better. I didn't come tonight to pretend fear doesn't exist. I came to confront it with mercy and power, not judgment. I see where it began, the exact moment it crept into your mind, wrapped around a memory, loss, or mistake. A broken piece never spoken of again. I see how it grew, attached to your future, distorted your expectations, taught you to expect disappointment, not fulfillment. You weren't designed to live in survival mode. I didn't create you to always brace for impact. That fear telling you to prepare for the worst, I sever it now. I reach into that quiet corner where you hid fear so no one would see weakness. I don't ask you to fight it alone. I pull it out by the root. I'm not just speaking peace. I'm planting it deep in your soul, leaving no place for fear. You've tried to manage it, adjusted dreams, lowered expectations to avoid triggering it. But I'm not adjusting to fear. I'm eliminating it. The voice in your head asking, what if everything goes wrong? I replace it with my truth. What if everything falls into place because I'm with you? I know what fear cost you. Doors you didn't walk through, opportunities missed, love pushed away, risks refused. all because fear whispered safety was better than disappointment. But I'm rewriting that story, restoring boldness, not recklessness, but holy confidence. You were never meant to shrink. You were meant to rise with authority. That trembling sense something bad is near, I rebuke it. That inner warning making you doubt good things, I silence it. You don't have to hold back anymore. You don't have to smile through fear. I give you real courage, steady through storms. The kind that remembers who stands beside you when winds return. I don't ignore fear. I walk into it with light so strong it cannot hide. Fear has been a shadow behind your strength, but I am the light casting out every shadow. I lift your chin, not just to encourage but to anchor you in truth. You are not in danger. You are in my presence, and my presence will not tolerate what steals your breath. Let your guard down. You don't have to fight fear alone. You don't have to smile while drowning. I came to end the cycle. You're stepping out, not with shaky steps but steady ones, because I hold you in truth. No fear can break. You've often felt surrounded by people yet utterly unseen. Like your voice echoes endlessly but never lands. Like your soul stretches out but never finds something solid to hold. Loneliness isn't merely the absence of company. It's the deep ache of feeling invisible in a crowd. The quiet agony of believing no one truly understands you. Not fully, not deeply. That loneliness has built a fortress around you, not suddenly, but brick by brick, through rejection, abandonment, countless misunderstandings, and unspoken disappointments. You stopped reaching out because the silence on the other end began to hurt more than the solitude itself. I watched as you slowly withdrew, not because you wanted isolation, but because being open to others felt like handing them weapons they didn't even realize they held. I saw how your smiles grew fewer, your trust slower to come, your love more cautious. Not because you lacked the capacity to care, but because you were exhausted from being the only one who cared. Tonight, I entered your room not just to sit with you in your isolation, but to walk you out of it. This is not merely a moment of comfort. It's a sacred jailbreak. I place my hand on the locked doors you sealed tight, the emotional rooms you never invited anyone into, the internal spaces where grief was stored beneath layers of "I'm fine." You were never meant to live locked away in a self-made prison. The world taught you vulnerability is dangerous. But I tell you now, where my spirit is, there is freedom. And I brought freedom with me tonight. I'm not asking you to pour out your soul to people who haven't earned that space. I'm asking you to trust me enough to let me step fully into even the places you tried to forget. I know the real reasons you pull away. I know the stories behind your silence. I know the names, memories, and events that triggered your retreat. And I don't despise your caution. I understand it, but I am not like them. I don't leave when it gets uncomfortable. I don't overlook what is sacred within you. I don't take and disappear. I came to restore what others mishandled. I came to replace walls with bridges, fear with faith, emptiness with the overflow of my presence. This prison of loneliness has lied to you long enough. It whispered that you're better off alone, that your heart is too fragile to be held, that your thoughts are too complicated to be understood. But I am not confused by you. I am not tired of you. I am not disappointed in you. I made your depths. I designed your layers. I speak the language of your soul. And I did not come into your room just to watch you sit in silence. I came to release you into connection again. True connection, not shallow noise, but honest, soul-deep relationship. Starting with me. Because no human relationship can heal what only intimacy with me can restore. I want to walk with you in the early hours when no one texts back. I want to sit with you in the car when silence grows heavy. I want to remind you moment by moment that you are fully known, deeply, constantly. Your loneliness tried to convince you that being misunderstood is safer than vulnerability. But I'm giving you a new language, one built on truth, not fear. Soon, I will align you with people who don't just hear you, they recognize your spirit. But before that happens, I had to step in and break the lie that you are alone, because you never were. I have been here through every silent scream, every unanswered call, every fake smile, every canceled plan. I have never once looked away from your loneliness. I came tonight not only to sit in it, but to shatter its hold. You're not just stepping out of isolation. You're stepping into divine companionship that will never grow cold. You've spent so long believing that every failure pushed you farther away from me, that every wrong step added distance between us, that every moment you slipped, doubted, or broke down was being recorded somewhere, waiting to be held against you. But that's not why I came tonight. I didn't come holding scales of judgment. I came with lifelines, mercy, and a plan to pull you out of what you thought would swallow you whole. I know exactly how close you've come to giving up, not just on your dreams, but on yourself. I know about the internal collapse, the kind no one notices, because you've gotten so good at carrying it silently. I didn't come to reprimand you, but to interrupt what's been dragging you down. You don't need a critic, you need a savior. Someone who sees your burden, knows your battle, and still steps in with open arms. And that's what I've done. I watched despair try to take permanent residence in your soul. I saw how weariness tied itself around your ankles, pulling you deeper into thoughts you never imagined. You fought battles that multiplied every time you gained ground. Even when you prayed, your voice cracked under the strain of pretending everything was fine. I heard that silence too. I saw what guilt whispered, that you were too far gone, too broken, too inconsistent for me to care. But my child, I never stopped pursuing you. I never wrote you off. And this moment is proof. I broke through the noise to find you, not to remind you of mistakes, but to tell you they don't define your future. Not to count your wrongs, but to cancel the shame attached to them. I came because you were starting to believe lies, that you had to fix yourself before being worthy of being found. But I find the broken, I restore the fallen, I breathe life into what's collapsing, and I am here in your mess, not asking you to climb out, but reaching in to lift you up. You were never meant to stay stuck in cycles of regret. You were never meant to sink beneath your own expectations. I am not repelled by your failure. I am stirred by the reach of your heart. You have not disappointed me. What you think disqualifies you only shows how desperately you need me. And I love when you realize that. I'm not afraid of your past. I'm not shocked by your struggles. I see it all. And still, I choose you again and again, because my love is not based on performance. It's rooted in covenant, not conditions. Tonight, I'm cutting through every chain, every lie, every memory, every bond wrapped around your identity. You thought you were drowning, but I was beneath the surface, preparing to raise you up. You thought it was the end, but it's just the beginning of your rescue. I came to remind you that you don't earn my nearness. You receive it. I am near. You are enough to breathe, to cry, to whisper truth where the enemy shouted defeat. You don't have to clean yourself up for me. I bring the cleansing. You don't have to figure it all out. I bring the strategy. You don't have to pretend to be strong. I bring the power. I came not because you were ready, but because I could not wait another moment to bring you out. This is not punishment, it's redemption. I will not leave until you know I came to rest you, not reprimand. You've carried burdens no one else knew, walked emotional minefields without a map, woke each day pretending it's manageable when the fight drained parts of you you didn't know were vulnerable. You've shown up to responsibilities carrying wounds, encouraged others while silently unraveling. Learn to function amid personal warfare. Hear me now. You don't have to fight alone anymore. I'm stepping in, not from a distance, not with vague comfort, but with absolute authority. I have entered your struggle, not as a spectator, but as a warrior. Every hidden battle, every internal collapse, every fiery dart the enemy launched unseen, I've seen them all. And I won't let you continue under siege. You're used to carrying everything alone and have forgotten what support feels like. But I remember how I made you, designed for relationship with me, crafted to rest in my strength, not wear yourself down. You're tired, not weak, but because you've battled without reinforcement. Tonight that ends. I'm not just fighting beside you, I'm standing before you, pushing back what pushes against you, the arrows of accusation, waves of anxiety, fog of depression, shadows of doubt, confronting them, not with noise but with power. I know what haunts you. I know your tormenting thoughts. I know how often you tried to talk yourself out of giving up. And even when no one else saw the toll I did, that's why I couldn't stay silent. I watched long enough. I allowed the stretching because it built strength. But I won't let you be destroyed by what you were never meant to face alone. Your cries in unseen places moved heaven to act. Help has come, not theory, not promise, but in me, fully present. I reinforce your spirit, rebuild what crumbled while you smiled through storms. You won't have to strategize the next wave. I am the strategy. You won't have to pretend it doesn't hurt. I am the healing. You won't have to brace yourself for uncertainty. I am already in tomorrow, clearing the way. No more white-knuckling through life. No more waking in survival mode. No more mornings wondering if today is the day it all falls apart. I've taken your cause. Defend your name where you aren't. Shut mouths that cursed your calling. Rebuild your spiritual stamina, not to endure, but to overcome. You were never meant to be a casualty. You were made to testify what happens when God shows up in battle. Here I am. The warfare around you doesn't scare me. I've already seen its end. I've declared your victory. You just didn't know I fought while you rested. I surrounded you with angels you never asked for, blocked attacks you never felt. Now I invite you to lay down weapons forged in fear and take up peace knowing I am for you. The weight wasn't meant to be yours forever. The battle wasn't meant to be carried alone. Let me fight for you now. Let me war on your behalf. You're not walking back into the struggle alone. You never were, and now you will know it. The battle inside your mind has been loud, not outside, but deep within your thoughts. I've seen every question echoing there, every contradiction pulling you in opposite directions, every swirl of uncertainty that made you hesitate instead of move forward. You've second-guessed yourself more times than you can count. You wondered whether you were hearing me or your fears, whether you were walking by faith or falling into another trap. That internal conflict, the one where peace never seems to settle for long, I came to address it tonight, not with more thoughts, but with clarity. I hover over the chaos occupying your inner world. I silence the noise that makes rest feel like a distant memory. Confusion isn't from me. It never was. I don't speak in circles. I don't lead with ambiguity. I don't fill your spirit with doubt and call it discernment. That fog you've been walking through, the mental weight, making even simple decisions feel heavy. I lift it. I command this turmoil to cease. I bring alignment where distraction and deception tried to divide you. And I do it gently, yet thoroughly, because I know how deeply rooted some of those thoughts are. They didn't form overnight. They came from wounds, lies you didn't recognize at the time, and disappointments that changed how you see yourself, others, and even me. But I'm restoring your perspective, not just on situations, but on who I am and who you are in me. You've been stuck between what if I fail and what if I never try for far too long. A lot of your war is ending. I'm handing you divine certainty, not the absence of questions, but unwavering direction. You won't feel like you're walking in circles anymore. I anchor your thoughts in truth so they stop drifting toward destruction. The exhaustion from overthinking, worrying, and analyzing what you can't control, it ends here. I calm your mental storms, not with temporary silence, but with a permanent shift. From now on, when confusion tries to return, it will crash against a mind covered in my peace. My voice will rise above doubt. My presence will override panic. I didn't just visit your room. I came to take dominion over the space in your mind that's been under siege. A mind where fear masqueraded as logic, where torment was wrapped in indecision. I reset your internal compass, and it will always point to me. You will know what to say. You will know when to move. You will know what to release and what to pursue. Not because you will always feel certain, but because you will know my peace. And my peace will become your confirmation. What once felt blurry will sharpen. What seemed out of reach will come into focus. You won't feel torn between thoughts anymore. You won't live in the realm of maybe and what if. I speak definitively into your spirit, and what I speak brings order. I do not offer confusion. I cancel it. I don't leave you wandering. I lead you beside still waters. Tonight, I place my hand on your head, not as a gesture, but as a declaration. Your mind belongs to me, not to fear, trauma, or past wounds. From this moment forward, you will think with clarity, discern with confidence, and rest without interruption. What held your mind captive has lost its grip, because I've come to set it free. You've been stretched thin, constantly trying to meet expectations, manage crises, fix what's broken, and still smile through the exhaustion that's worn you down deeper than you realize. I see how you've been piecing your life together with trembling hands, pretending to be strong because others depend on you. You've been the reliable one, the one who never says no, who holds others when they're breaking. Yet inside, you felt yourself slipping away. Piece by piece, you sacrificed your peace, your energy, even your own needs to keep everything from falling apart. You thought if you let go, everything might collapse. But beloved, while you held the world on your shoulders, I reached out to hold you. I didn't create you to carry it all alone. I didn't ask you to become the glue holding everyone else's chaos while your own heart breaks in silence. That pressure, that responsibility, that invisible load, you were never meant to bear it in isolation. That's why I came into your room tonight. Not to applaud how much you've endured, but to rescue you from a life that slowly emptied you while you smiled for others' sake. You've lost touch with the core of who you are, not because you're careless, but because you've been too busy surviving to truly breathe. I'm not here to demand more from you. I'm here to give. I'm here to pour into the dry spaces that have grown so empty for so long, to restore parts of you had to shut down just to keep going. I know you've told yourself this is just how life is, but I say no. This is not how I meant for you to live. You accepted exhaustion as normal, numbness as peace, and overextending as love. But I'm turning that around. I'm pulling you back into rest. Not just physical rest, but soul rest. The kind that lets you exhale again. The kind that reminds you your worth isn't in what you hold together, but in who you are in me. I see the tension in your shoulders, the weight on your chest, the tiredness in your eyes, and I'm relieving it right now. Not with more demands, but with stillness, presence, and peace that asks for nothing in return. You fought so hard to be everything for everyone, but now, let me be everything for you. I want to reintroduce you to the joy you once felt. I want to restore laughter that's been missing from your voice for a long time. I want to remind you that you are not just a caretaker, fixer, or support system. You are mine, and I delight in you, not for how well you hold things together, but for who you are when you simply let go and lean on me. You don't have to prove your strength anymore. You don't have to earn rest. I came now to hold what you've been carrying. I wrap my arms around your weariness. I cover the places in your heart that felt abandoned while you kept showing up for others. I'm not asking you to drop everything recklessly. I'm inviting you to place it all in my hands intentionally. The world won't fall apart if you breathe, but you might if you don't. And I care too much to let that happen. Let me be your strength now. Let me hold what's been too heavy for too long. You don't have to be the hero anymore. You don't have to stretch yourself until there's nothing left. I'm here not to fix everything instantly, but to hold you until you remember how it feels to be safe, supported, and truly seen. This is the beginning of a new way to live, not just holding on, but being held. There have been whispers crawling into your thoughts, subtle and persistent, telling you that your efforts are meaningless, your prayers are wasted, and your future is slipping away. You've tried to shake them off, drown them out, pretend they don't exist. But they've lingered in the shadows of your mind, growing louder when you're tired and vulnerable. They've disguised themselves as your own voice, making you question if those hopeless thoughts were actually true. I saw you begin to believe them. I watched you nod silently when those lies whispered, "Nothing's going to change. You're not enough. It's better to stop hoping than to keep hurting." But I could not stay quiet while those voices tried to rewrite your identity. That voice telling you to quit, back down, disappear. It is not mine. It never was. And I am silencing it now. I am raising my voice above every lie that has tried to settle into your spirit. I speak with clarity, and what I speak brings life. You are not a failure. You are not forgotten. You are not wasting your time. You are not beyond repair. My truth overrides the opinions of fear, anxiety, and insecurity. I speak over you now, and I say, you are chosen. You are rising. You are still in my plan. You are still the one I want to use, even when you feel least qualified. I see the damage those voices have done, the way they made you shrink back when I was calling you forward. I know how they paralyzed your movement, dulled your excitement, and made you settle for less than what I promised. But child, you are stepping into a new sound now. The sound of truth that breaks cycles. The sound of peace that cancels confusion. My truth does not echo fear. It replaces it. My words do not tear down. They heal. My voice does not destroy. It builds what the enemy tried to break. You will begin to recognize me in the silence again. You will hear the difference between my voice and the voice of accusation. I am not the one who reminds you of your past to shame you. I reveal only what I intend to redeem. I am not the voice that points out your flaws to embarrass you. I highlight what I am healing. The next time those whispers come, they will not land the same. They will not take root, because I am planting truth so deeply inside you that lies suffocate. My word will be louder than doubt. My promises will outweigh discouragement. You will not collapse under pressure. You will rise under purpose. I am restoring the authority of your own voice. You will not just hear me. You will speak what I say. You will declare truth in places where lies once lived. You will interrupt patterns that controlled your thoughts. You will speak life over yourself when no one else is there to remind you, because I am filling your mouth with power and your mind with renewal. I came tonight to draw a line. Every voice that did not come from me, every word that made you question your value, calling, or future, it loses its place now. I am taking residence where fear once echoed. I am moving into the rooms of your mind where the enemy whispered in the dark. I do not speak torment. I speak truth. My truth does not change with emotions or circumstances. It is fixed. It is final. The voice that told you to give up has been overruled. And now you will walk forward with my words guiding every step. You've mistaken your exhaustion for weakness, your weariness for defeat, and the delays surrounding you for signs that you've done something wrong. But I need you to know this right now. What you're feeling is not failure. It's evidence that you're still in the fight. You're still pushing forward when giving up would have been easier. You're still standing even when your knees feel weak. You're still reaching for me even when your strength is nearly gone. This is not failure. This is resilience amid spiritual warfare. You are not falling behind. You are standing in the thick of a battle designed to wear you down, and you haven't quit. That is what I see. That is what I honor. The enemy has tried to twist your struggle into shame, but I see it as courage. He's tried to tell you that because it's hard, you must be doing something wrong. But I say, because it's hard, you are close to breakthrough. The intensity of this season is not proof of failure. It's confirmation that something is being contended for, and you are right in the middle of it. I have not left you here to survive alone. I'm not standing at the finish line waiting to congratulate you. I'm in the fire with you. Every battle that has drained you, every wave threatening to pull you under, every moment you thought you couldn't take another step, I was there, reinforcing your spirit when you didn't know where your strength came from. This isn't about perfection, it's about endurance. I didn't call you because you were flawless. I chose you because I knew you'd keep pressing forward, even with a limp. I'm not measuring success by accomplishments. I'm measuring it by how much you trusted me amid the unknown. You feel like this war will never end because you're breaking through barriers that those before you never dared to face. You are confronting spiritual patterns long left unchallenged. That resistance is not because you're weak. It's because you're making progress. You're not stuck. You're being refined. I am not a distant observer of this fight. I am your defender's strength and strategy. I am placing heavenly weapons in your hands, not the kind the world recognizes, but the kind that shift atmospheres, the kind that tear down strongholds, bind what tried to bind you, and release what's been locked up. I am not letting you lose this fight. You've come too far to turn back. Now you've wept, fasted, prayed, hoped, and even in quiet doubt, you never stopped seeking me. That counts. That matters. That moves me. I know what it's cost you to stay faithful. I know how much it took to keep choosing me in the dark, waiting in confusion. And I will not let that go unanswered. I am covering you with my power, surrounding you with reinforcements, standing guard over your mind, heart, and home. You are not fighting alone. This battle is not endless. Victory is not a distant dream. It is your inheritance. It is already being established. And I am leading you step by step until what I promised becomes your reality. You don't need to figure it all out. You just need to keep showing up. I will handle the rest. Because you're not failing, beloved. You're fighting, and your fight is sacred. With me by your side, this battle will not end in loss. It will end in testimony. What you're facing now may feel like a final chapter, like the last sentence has been written and the pen dropped in disappointment. But that is not truth. This sorrow you stand in, this heaviness wrapping your days and creeping into nights, is not the end. It's the setting for the transformation I'm about to unfold. I know it feels like everything you relied on has crumbled. I know grief whispers that maybe you missed it. Maybe it's over. Maybe this was your chance and now it's gone. But hear me clearly. I am not finished with you, not even close. This sorrow is not a stop sign. It's a turning point. The mourning, loss, and unanswered questions are not wasted. They are the soil into which I'm planting something you've never seen. You thought this pain was the end, but I call it the birthplace of purpose. You thought heartbreak was a full stop, but I'm calling it the comma before the miracle. You are still being written, and I hold the ink. I've seen your tears. I've heard the thoughts you didn't speak. I watched you try to carry yourself forward, even when your soul felt like unraveling beneath the surface. You are not forgotten in this grief. I have walked every inch of it with you. I stood silently beside you in moments you thought I'd left. I was never gone. I was just waiting for the right moment to shift sorrow to glory. That moment begins now. You don't have to pretend you're okay for me to move. You don't have to rush through pain for me to redeem it. I meet you where you are, raw, fragile, and sure, and begin rebuilding from that sacred place. I'm not asking you to forget what hurt you. I'm not erasing the pages where you wept. I'm using them. Every loss becomes part of your testimony. Every ache finds meaning in what I have destined for you. You may not see how it will come together, but I see the tapestry. What feels like unraveling from your view looks like divine weaving from mine. The threads of grief, fibers of heartbreak, and strands of disappointment. I'm using them to construct a future you never imagined but always needed. You are not buried by sorrow. You are being planted for something greater. Like a seed hidden before it rises, you've been in a hidden season where things felt dark, unknown, and still. But the ground has prepared you. The silence has grown you. The ache has deepened your roots. Soon you will rise, not just as you were, but as who I created you to be. You don't need to rush out of this moment. You just need to know it's not the end. Your purpose didn't die with disappointment. Your calling wasn't canceled by setbacks. I'm still in control of your story, and I'm not writing a tragedy. I'm building a legacy. This next chapter will be marked not by pain, but by power. Not by sorrow, but by strength. Not by loss, but by my love expressed in ways you've never seen. So lift your head, not because everything makes sense now, but because I say your story is not over. What I speak stands forever. I'm not just the author, I'm the finisher. I never leave a sentence unfinished when it bears my name. You will not be defined by what shattered you. Instead, you will be recognized by what I built within you when everything else was crumbling. The ending you dreaded is actually the new beginning I'm unveiling. This moment isn't by chance. It's no accident that you feel the way you do right now. I have come with purpose, on a mission sent directly from the throne room, carrying instructions sealed with the authority of heaven itself. You may have felt overlooked by people, forgotten by systems, invisible in crowds, but never by me, not even for a single moment. I understand what it's like to sit in silence, wondering if your name is still spoken in the courts of heaven. I know how often you've whispered, "Do you still remember what you promised me?" And I have come to answer, not just with words, but with my presence. Forgetfulness is not in my nature. Every promise I whispered to your heart lives on, waiting for its appointed time. This delay you've endured was not me forgetting. It was me preparing. While you questioned whether heaven still had you in mind, I was already working in realms unseen, arranging everything that would intersect with your destiny at precisely the right moment. And this is one of those moments. You are not waiting alone in some forgotten corner of my kingdom. You are central to what I am doing. The weight of heaven's strategy is inscribed within you. The blueprint of your life is not buried or discarded. It is unfolding right before your eyes. Even here, in the very room where you felt nothing was shifting. My arrival isn't merely about comfort. It's confirmation. That vision you held onto, I haven't shelved it. That calling you sensed, I have not abandoned it. That persistent longing inside you, I placed it there. And I am here to rekindle what seemed like fading embers. The fire is not gone. It has simply been hidden beneath the ashes of waiting and disappointment. But I have come to breathe on it again. I am reviving dreams you were ready to surrender. I am restoring hope in places you didn't even realize had grown numb. I am the God who finishes what he begins. And you, my beloved, are not a forgotten page. I am still writing your chapter with power. You were never discarded. You were being held, covered, kept, protected from threats you didn't even know were forming around you. Heaven's gaze has never left you. Angels were assigned to guard you before you even knew how to pray. Divine help surrounded you during moments you believed you were drowning in failure. I have guarded your destiny with the fierce love only a father can show. And now, I step in with clarity. You are seen. You are chosen. You are not behind schedule. You are exactly where I can meet you, lift you, and launch you into what's next. No voice from hell can cancel what I have commissioned. No lie spoken over you can erase what heaven has decreed. What I have written over your life was never contingent on how others treated you. It was established by my will, secured by blood, and now reaffirmed by my nearness. Don't search for proof around you. Look at me. I am your evidence. I am your reminder. I am your fulfillment. I didn't come because you demanded it. I came because you are worth it. My orders were not merely to visit, but to deliver this personal message. You are remembered. You are valued. Everything written about your life is still active. No delay can nullify your calling. No detour can disqualify what I ordained. I am not catching up to your situation. I am already ahead of it. I didn't just walk into this room tonight. I have stood by your side, waiting for the exact moment your spirit would be ready to receive this truth. Heaven has not forgotten. I have not moved on. And this is just the beginning of what I will reveal through your life. I know it's been hard to keep believing when everything around you looks unchanged. Waking to the same heaviness, facing the same struggles, praying the same prayers, feeling like the only thing growing is the silence. You've wondered if your faith was in vain, if your obedience went unnoticed, if your trust bore any fruit at all. I have heard the unspoken questions, the ones that surface in the stillness of night when your heart can no longer pretend. You looked around and saw no evidence, so you assumed no progress was happening. But that's where I come in, because what you couldn't see I was doing. What looked like inactivity was divine construction. I was not ignoring you. I was working behind the scenes. Some of the greatest breakthroughs start in silence. While you wondered if anything would change, I was rerouting attacks, aligning people, unlocking doors that had to stay shut until you were ready. My hand was never idle. I organized your steps, refined your environment, and even delayed certain things, not to punish, but to protect you. You didn't know the silence was strategic. You didn't realize what seemed like stagnation was sacred preparation. I arranged the unseen details that must align before your manifestation can appear. Now, because you didn't give up, because you kept showing up even when it felt pointless, you are stepping into the moment where the invisible begins to take shape. You will soon look back and realize the waiting was not wasted. It was essential. It was the place where your roots grew deep enough to hold the path to what's coming. I never allowed delay without purpose. I don't pause without a plan. What I start, I sustain. What I prepare, I reveal at the appointed time. You thought I had paused your life, but I was accelerating what truly matters. While you focused on what hadn't changed, I transformed the things you didn't realize needed my attention. Your heart, endurance, discernment, and your ability to recognize me in the quiet, all shifting slowly, powerfully into something unshakable. Don't mistake stillness for abandonment. I am not the God who forgets his promises. I've never missed a deadline in eternity, and I won't start now. You thought nothing was happening because you couldn't measure it. But I measure in eternity, not emotion. I move in alignment, not urgency. I act in fullness, not fragments. What I have built in the dark is about to be revealed in the light. The things that didn't make sense will begin to connect. The prayers that seem to vanish will return with answers attached. Closed doors will open with timing that reveals my wisdom. You won't have to force what I'm releasing. You will walk into it with peace. I am confirming your steps. I'm clearing your path. I'm lifting the fog that made you doubt. In the days ahead, momentum will replace resistance. The ground beneath you is shifting, not to collapse, but to carry you into new territory. You thought the waiting would break you, but it has made you ready. You are not the same person you were when you started this journey. You're stronger. Your spirit is quieter, but your faith is bolder. You're more grounded, more surrendered, more sensitive to me than ever before. That's not insignificant. That's everything. And because of that, you're ready for what comes next. So, don't panic when change isn't immediate. Trust that I'm still moving, even when it's invisible. I have always worked, not in flashes, but in foundations. Not in chaos, but with strategy. You are about to witness the unveiling of what was forming while you thought I was silent. You called it a setback, a stall, even punishment. But it was none of those. What you experienced wasn't me withholding good from you. It was me holding you in place to protect you from what would have come too soon. Blessings can come like rain or fire. Both are powerful. But if you're not ready, either can overwhelm. I saw what lay ahead when you saw only what was missing. You thought the wait tested your patience, but it was always about forming your capacity. I have shaped your inner world, built endurance into your spirit, reordered your motives, not to delay your destiny, but to ensure it won't collapse under pressure. If I had given you everything you asked for at first prayer, it would have cost you more than it blessed you. I love you too much to allow premature access to something sacred, time or enemy tactics. Understand this. I did not forget your requests. I did not ignore your prayers that soaked your pillow. The fasting you did behind the scenes while still serving others. The moments you said yes to me while your heart ached from every no life handed you. I heard, I recorded, I prepared, and now I release. You will not have to fight for this miracle. It will come with peace, not pressure. You won't have to beg doors to open. I will open what no one else can. You won't have to prove your worth. My grace delivers it. I am moving now. Not because you performed perfectly, but because you stayed with me when it made no sense. When others ran ahead, you waited. When others gave up, you remained planted. What grows from this kind of obedience is never small. What comes to you will far exceed your pain. It will be a blessing that reveals I was with you all along. A shift that transforms your environment, not just your feelings. This is no minor change. This is supernatural release. It begins with your faith opening wide again. Expect it again. Believe I still do the impossible, not because you deserve it, but because you belong to me. You are my child, and when I say it's time, nothing can stop me. Right now, as you sit in quiet, things are shifting on your behalf. Conversations are changing. Timelines are speeding up. Opportunities are aligning. The delay is lifting. Restrictions are breaking. The miracle is no longer pending. It is active, but it won't come as you expected. It won't look like your last blessing. It won't fit your plans. It will exceed them. And when it arrives, you will know it wasn't chance. It was me. I designed the delay to prepare this exact moment. I crafted it so no one else can claim credit. They will see and know this is God's doing. You didn't push your way in. You trusted your way here. Now that trust is rewarded in real time. As you breathe in my presence, let these words sink into your spirit and say aloud, the delay is over. Say it with conviction, because your miracle has begun moving, and this time it won't pass you by. You assumed I was silent because you couldn't hear me. You believed I stepped back because your prayers echoed unanswered. You questioned if I was still with you, still for you, still aware of the war inside your soul. But here's what I was really doing in those quiet moments: watching your posture, observing how you carried the assignment when applause stopped, measuring your faith, not with judgment, but with tenderness. I do my deepest work in hidden places. My silence was preparation. I was not ignoring you. I was looking deeper than your words. I watched your decisions, attitudes, and inner resolve under unseen pressure. I saw you wake weary yet choose belief. I saw you question but whisper, "I trust you." I saw your heart break repeatedly, yet you lifted it to me. You thought I was gone, but I was closer than ever, silent because I was refining you. In the stillness, I strengthened your endurance. In the waiting, I stretched your capacity. I needed you to stop chasing noise and start recognizing me in the quiet. To tune your ears to the gentle guidance of my spirit, not the loud demands of emotion. Because where I'm leading you next, sensitivity to my presence matters more than comfort. The silence taught you that I am constant even when you don't feel it, faithful even when you feel forgotten, working even when all seems stuck. Now I want to reveal what I saw while you thought I wasn't watching. Honor, perseverance, quiet obedience, times you turned the other cheek, choosing peace when you could retaliate, worshiping through heartbreak, resisting bitterness despite deep pain. All of that matters to me. None of it was in vain. While others judged your progress by visibility, I measured it by private surrender. Beloved, you passed the test. I stayed silent not to harm you, but to teach you to hear me differently. You were never truly without my voice. You only had to learn what it sounds like when freed from emotion and expectation. My voice is steady when your world isn't. My nearness is sure when your feelings shift. Having walked this silent valley, you'll never again mistake stillness for absence. You will know deeply and permanently that I am always here, that my silence is often my loudest way of saying, I trust you. I trusted you to carry this assignment, to walk through the fog without abandoning faith. Now I step forward, not to correct, but to confirm. I am with you. I never left. And I'm about to speak again, not in riddles, but clarity. Not whispers, but breakthroughs. What you carried quietly will now be celebrated openly. What you protected privately will be honored publicly. You will no longer ask, "Where were you, Lord?" Because you will know I was right here, weighing you not to judge, but to prepare you for what's next. And now you are ready. You've held it together longer than anyone realizes. On the outside, you have been present, fulfilling duties, showing up, speaking the right words. But inside, your soul has been begging for rest, for renewal, for more than just survival. The weight has worn you down in places you didn't even know could grow weary. This hasn't just been a delay, it's been a draining journey. You haven't lost your faith, but pieces of yourself have slipped away along the path. The joy that once came freely now feels distant. The passion that once ignited your spirit has dwindled to a faint flicker. The confidence that once steadied your steps has been buried beneath layers of doubt and waiting. Through it all, you have whispered quietly, "Lord, I'm tired." Not just tired in body, but weary in soul. Tired of hoping and seeing no change. Tired of staying faithful when it costs everything. Tired of pretending to be okay when deep down you wonder if there's anything left to give. That is why I have come into your room tonight, not to tell you to keep going alone, but to pour fresh strength into what feels empty. I came to breathe life into the parts of you starved of peace, to restore, not replace, the beautiful pieces worn down by trusting me without visible results. You've paid a price for your endurance. You didn't give up, but it cost you emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. I am a just God. I do not ignore what it cost you to believe through barren seasons. I restore what waiting has taken. I redeem what delay tried to dismantle. Right now, I lay my hand on your weariness, not to push you harder, but to fill you anew, not with fleeting motivation, but with deep, lasting refreshment that reaches beyond surface strength. I restore the smile born of a rested heart. I renew the vision that fills you with purpose. I bring back the calm not dependent on outcomes, but flowing from intimacy with me. You thought you had to keep moving forward on whatever little strength remained. But I did not design you to run empty. I never asked you to perform. I asked you to abide. To abide means to remain close, even when still. To let me fill the places you tried to manage alone. You are not weak for needing rest. You are not faithless for feeling empty. You are human. You are beloved. And you are exactly where my spirit pours out strength that doesn't come from striving. I know how long this season has stretched. I know how many times you've said, just a little longer, while quietly wondering if you're lying to yourself. I am not waiting for you to fix your exhaustion. I came to address it. I came as the shepherd who makes you lie down in green pastures, not the taskmaster demanding more without refreshing what you've already given. You've carried burdens alone, prayed without answers, encouraged others while your own well ran low. But now I say enough rest. Breathe. Let me refill what you didn't realize was depleted. This is holy restoration, not just of your energy, but of your identity. You are not simply replenished, you are remembered. The version of you that dreamed freely, laughed without fear, and loved boldly. I am bringing that heart back to life. You will no longer move forward with broken pieces. I am completing what was cracked. You will rise again, not just to continue the journey, but to enjoy it. I am not only restoring strength, I am restoring delight, purpose, and peace that cannot be shaken. With the weight lifted, I am rebuilding with my hands. They didn't just leave you, they took pieces of you when they walked away. They left wounds no one else saw, yet you kept going. You did not curse them. You did not retaliate. You didn't even demand an apology. You carried the pain privately, learning to smile through disappointment, to pray through the sharpness of betrayal. What they did broke something open in your spirit, but you brought that brokenness to me instead of bitterness. That choice did not go unnoticed. I saw your silent tears, your sleepless nights, the inner dialogue you replayed, wondering what went wrong. I watched you try to move on, while part of you longed for clarity, closure, one word of truth. But they chose deception. They chose distance. They protected their image instead of honoring your heart. And I have seen it all. You have not been overlooked. More importantly, you will not be left empty after what was stolen from you. I am not just your comforter. I am your restorer. I am the God of justice. I will not let betrayal write the final word over your life. What was done to hurt you is becoming the foundation of something greater. You lost trust but gained discernment, strength, and an awareness of me no one can take away. You discovered the truth. When people fall away, I draw near. And now I am stepping in to do what only I can do. Restore not just your peace, but your dignity. I will place you where those who dismissed you must witness your elevation. But this is not about revenge. It's about honor. I am not preparing a moment to embarrass them. I am preparing a table to honor you because you chose blessing over curse, healing over hardness. That heart posture, though costly, has positioned you for double. What they took, I will replace with something greater. What they said, I will silence with my favor. Where they rejected you, I will surround you with truth, loyalty, and my spirit. You will no longer live bracing for betrayal. I am healing the root so you can open your heart again, not in fear, but in faith. You won't have to protect yourself from connection anymore. I am placing people around you who know how to cover, not cut. I know how betrayal makes you build walls. I know how it tempts you to isolate, doubt, and look over your shoulder. but I am removing that weight. You don't have to live guarded. I will guard you. You don't have to shrink to be safe. I will surround you. What's coming next will not only make you feel restored, it will shout to the atmosphere that I am God, who sees and rewards what man tried to erase. They thought your silence meant weakness, but your silence was sacred. Proof you trust me more than your feelings, and that trust is honored. I am rewriting your story, not with scars but strength, not with regret but revelation. My child, if this word pierced your soul, it's because I aimed it straight at your heart. You didn't just watch a video, you encountered me. And encounters like this are not meant to be rare. They are meant to be a rhythm in your life. Don't treat this moment lightly. Don't walk away and forget what I've just whispered to your spirit. Come back to this well often. Let these words wash over you again and again, because I am still speaking. I am still healing. I am still drawing you deeper. Subscribe, not just for content, but for confirmation. Turn on notifications, not out of habit, but out of hunger. Share this with someone else who is hanging on by a thread, because your obedience might be the rope that pulls them back. This is not the end of the message. This is the beginning of your momentum. So come back, not just weekly, but whenever your spirit says, I need a word from God. I'll be here, waiting, speaking, preparing you for everything I've already written with your name on it. Don't miss what's next. You were made for it. Amen.